been planting bulbs throughout our garden for spring, but we don't have to wait until spring to enjoy these blooms. A number of bulbs can be forced to bloom indoors during the winter months. What a better way to fill those winter days than with fresh blossoms. So to get started, you want to look for some bulbs that are specifically labeled for forcing. Most bulbs require a chilling period, which is a period of cold temperatures that tells the plant that it's ready to bloom. And this happens naturally in our gardens over the winter. But if we're looking for plants to force indoors, we want to look for some that have been pre-chilled. Most of our forcing bulbs are sold specifically this way. They already have had that cold period, removing it for us gardeners. And a number of bulbs can be used. The easiest and most common are the paper whites, which I'm going to be setting out today, but also a number of tulips, muscari, hyacinths, and amaryllis are also used for forcing. So to get started, you want to have a dish that's deep enough to hold 2 to 3 inches of medium. And one of the things I like to use are clear vases because I can watch the roots grow inside. It's fun for kids to be able to look and see those roots growing. We want to fill our container with medium about 1 to 2 inches, and you can use a gravel. You can use soil, but I find it easier to use a soilless media such as gravel, or if I'm using glass, a lot of times I'll use decorative glass pebbles, and these come in different colors. Very, very cute display. So fill your container with about 1 to 2 inches of media, depending on how deep you have to work with. And then we're going to nestle in our bulbs, and we're actually going to set them fairly close together so that they're almost touching. If you put more bulbs in close together, you're going to get a much more dramatic flower display when they come into bloom. And I could probably squeeze one more in here. Okay, and nestle them down in. We want to try to keep them as upright as possible so that they grow nice and straight. And then we're going to fill in around them with gravel. And we want to fill in so that the gravel comes about halfway up the bulbs. And if I shake that and level it around, it'll settle in a little bit and get my bulbs set. Once you have your bulbs in place, we're going to add some water. And we don't want our bulbs to sit in water. We want to add just enough so that it's underneath the bulb. And that's one of the nice things about using a glass container, is that you can see the water level as you're pouring it in, and it becomes very easy to see how deep that water is. But in a container where you have a dark side or there's gravel, what I do is just kind of wiggle my finger down and make a hole, and it's going to require a little bit of resetting the bulbs, but then you can watch as you fill and see how deep that water level is. And over the time of forcing, we want to just maintain that water level. We're going to place this in an area that is cool and somewhat dark, out of direct light. A windowless room works very well, just for the initial rooting phase. And then once we see some shoots start to emerge, we want to move those to a bright sunny location, and that'll get those shoots up and the flowers to start opening. Once the flowers open, if we move it out of direct light, they'll last a little bit longer. But this is a great way to have fresh flowers and the fragrance of spring indoors throughout the winter. I like to make these as a centerpiece for the table or as a nice gift for the holidays. And kids really enjoy doing these because they can watch the plants throughout the whole process right inside their homes.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.